Welcome back, everybody, to a long-awaited return to kind of a brand new series, but kind of an old series. This is BluPrints. If you can imagine it, we can build it, and we can give you a design for it. That's kind of the goal of this series. So we're going to do anything and everything from redstone to creative builds to anything that you can think of. And so today, we are going to start out with our first build, being a concrete machine. If you've been watching me on Truly Bedrock, you'll know that I'm using a ton of concrete, and so it's going to be kind of nice to have one of these, one of them designed. You can see it right behind me right now. Let's get right into it. I'll show you how it works, and then I'll show you how to build it. First things first, basically how this thing works, you drop a piece of concrete powder right over the observer, and it pushes it forward one block. It hardens the concrete with the water that's flowing right here, and if we continue to do this, up to 8 blocks here is how I've set it up. You can set it up to 12 blocks. That's how many a piston will push, but I've chosen to do 8 because it will stack evenly. We'll be able to do this 8 times and go through one stack of concrete for the entire thing. Once it reaches the end of the 8 blocks, it'll go up 1 block just like so. If we continue to place the concrete powder just like that, it will eventually reach this observer up here, pushing the entire wall forward 1 block. But the nice thing about the way that we're doing this here is that we can get an 8 by 8 by 12 block of concrete. That is a whole bunch of concrete, and it's actually fairly quick as well. But we've gone a little bit farther than that. We don't want to stand here by the water and get in the way and then have to figure out how to get on top of the block. The way that we've designed this is so that we can go up here and stand on top of a platform, and we can just drop the concrete down the chute here. The one issue with this is that the concrete powder could get stuck. If it falls too quickly, the observer may not pick up that it's in front of it and may not push it over. So let's try to replicate that issue here. There we go. So we've got concrete backed up in the system. That's not what we want. So if you end up pushing it through a little too fast, we've put a failsafe button in here, just like so. And we can continue to push this until the system is flushed, and we should be ready to go. To get started today, we've got a 3 by 11 hole, and it is 1 deep. We're going to take 9 solid blocks of your choice. I've chosen concrete for our build today. They need to be solid blocks. That's important. We'll talk about that a little bit later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then one more on the end will be 9. And then we're going to go ahead and skip the first block here and place 8 pistons facing upwards in a row. Next, we want to grab any block. It doesn't have to be solid, and we'll place a couple down just like this. And we want to grab an observer block and make sure that the red dot is facing backwards and the smiley face is facing forward so that we can see that and he can see the concrete when it comes through. Then we're going to place any kind of block here, 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 and there. Then we want to go down a row and create a little trough. This is going to catch our water all the way down the edge of the pistons here so that no water can escape and destroy any of our redstone circuitry. And now it's safe to go ahead and place our water, so we'll go ahead and place that right there, and you can see it's flowing on down the line. This will get blocked off at some point as we start pushing concrete through it, but that's the basics of the structure, and now it's time to wire up our first circuit. I've gone ahead and put together a 3 by 3 structure here with the observer block in the top right corner. We're just going to take some redstone dust and come out just like this to make a little square. Then at the top of this, we're going to put our comparator, and then we're going to put another piece of redstone dust here and here, and then we've got a repeater set to 2 ticks. We'll go ahead and replace this block right here with a piston, and then our circuitry should be wired up. Now let's go ahead and grab a piece of concrete powder. We'll choose blue because it's our favorite color, and we'll go in here and test this out. In theory, this should be ready to go. And there you go. The reason that we wired this up the way that we did with 2 ticks on that repeater is because if we don't do that, for example, we'll get an infinite loop because the observer block doesn't have time to stop and shut off to stop ticking like that. So 2 ticks there should do the job, and we should be good to go to keep on placing down our concrete. In order for our concrete blocks to shift up 1 to make room for more concrete to come down the line, we need to wire up another circuit. So we're going to break this block right here, place another placeholder just like so, and then we'll go grab an observer block and place it down in the same fashion with the red dot in the back, the smiley face facing forward, and then we'll wire up another circuit. So we'll go ahead and place down redstone here, here, and here, here, and here. And then we'll grab our comparator, place it down right there, a repeater set to 3 ticks this time, and then a piece of redstone dust just like so. Similar circuit almost identical except for the ticks on the repeater. And then we will go down the line with our little wandering trader getting in the way. We'll go ahead and move him. And then we'll go ahead and continue down the line here, place down a repeater set to 1 tick, and then redstone dust all the way down to the end. Now, this is why the solid blocks were important, because we need the signal to carry up through into the piston, and if it's a piece of glass or a transparent block like a slab, it won't work properly. So we'll place down repeaters going into the solid blocks all at 1 tick apiece, and we should be good to go. We don't need one there on the end because there's no piston. And then we'll go ahead and break this. So now you can see as we place down these concrete blocks, we not only get the side-to-side action, but we get the up and down action as well. Now, the last piece of this puzzle is to get this entire wall, once it gets up to a certain height, to move forward so that we can repeat the whole process all over again. We're gonna go ahead and place down 8 pistons across, just like this, and then we'll go 8 up. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of this, and then we will keep building, and we'll wire it up. The reason we've chosen to go with an 8x8 structure just like this is so that it will give a full stack of concrete per wall. You can go up to 12 high and 12 long and 12 deep, because that's the amount that a piston will push, but because we want the even numbers of a stack, that's the design that we've gone with. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing up here with the circuitry. We need an observer block with the red dot in the back and the smiley face facing forward so that it sees the concrete, and when it does, the entire wall will move forward. To wire this one up, we've got the basic same circuit coming out of this one that we had on the other two. So we'll place down redstone dust just like so, and then we will place down our comparator, our repeater set to 2 ticks, and redstone dust yet again. This is where the project gets slightly different. We need to take this one circuit and wire up this entire wall. So the way that we're going to do that is we'll take a solid block, once again concrete for us, any solid block of your choice, skip the top row, go to the second row, and then do every other one until you get to the bottom row, and then we'll be able to finish up wiring this wall. Next, grab our redstone dust once again and place them down on top of these blocks that go into the back of these pistons and also power these ones at the same time. So with one redstone line, we power 2 separate pistons, and we'll go ahead and do that all the way to the bottom as well. Next, we need to make sure we've got 2 pieces of redstone dust coming out of this comparator. It needs to be 2 away so that we can wire these up properly, and then we'll go ahead and start coming over this way, just like so. With some redstone dust, and then a repeater set to 1 tick, and then we can start stair-stepping this down to the next level. We'll go like this, grab some more redstone dust, and then another repeater into this line, all the way to the bottom. So that's pretty much it, folks. That's the entire build, minus the platform on top and the failsafe button, which we will show those in just a moment. But you can stop here if you're really comfortable with this build. That's all you really need to do. So let's go over here and test this out. We'll place a concrete block in front of this observer, and we are good to go. Once again, make sure this repeater and that repeater down there are both set to 2 ticks, and this one is set to 3. If you don't do that properly, this will repeat in an infinite loop, causing the farm to break. And last but not least, let's go ahead and build the drop chute and the failsafe button, just in case that's something that you want to do. We'll place some blocks down here, here, and there, just like so. Make sure not to break that water block, otherwise you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. You won't be able to make your concrete. And we'll go ahead and pillar this all the way up, just above the top of our pistons there. Let's go ahead and do this with the other walls. And there you have it. We can go ahead and place down a platform, if you like, just like this, and that way you don't fall down when you're trying to place your concrete. So let's say you do go ahead and get a little bit trigger happy and drop too many of these blocks down here, and the thing gets clogged up and stuck. That's pretty easy to fix. All you want to do, drop a button right there, and then we'll do pretty much the same thing we did on this right here and drop a redstone line all the way down into this circuit so that it will activate that bottom piston. I've gone ahead and laid out the path for you, but we'll go ahead and wire this up together just out of this block right here. Redstone all the way down the line. And then along this straightaway here, just so we have enough power to get all the way to the end, let's go ahead and place in one more repeater, because you can only go up to 15 redstone pieces, and this will just barely not make it. So there we go. That will ensure that we have enough power to get all the way to the bottom, and you can see when we press this button, it activates that piston. And that's pretty much it, folks. That is the build for today's episode of BluPrints. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helped you to learn something new and something that you can build in your creative or survival worlds. Go on out and make that concrete. We'll see you next time on BluPrints.